I met a gypsy.
It would have been cool to do that after just everything being done. You know, like you said, 10 years, just so dedicated.
Yeah.
And then to actually go and like kind of explore the world for the first time.
Yeah. I was still in that, like, kind of want to just relax and enjoy life mode. So it was good. I actually got to do a little riding on that trip too, which when, you know, at Tony's practice track there. And so that made it even kind of funner and maybe just practice low key. But we went to Tony and Jill's house. They had just built their house right on the hill there, overlooking the ocean. It was beautiful. And we got to see their place, and they took us out to dinner and all the hot spots. So it was just, and then actually, so a year later, both the girls were pregnant.
Oh, at
so
the
like,
same time.
Yeah. So like we were both there, kind of like, I think we talked about it, and then a year later, both the girls are, so we kind of reminisce about that and all that. So it was cool. Yeah.
How cool was it getting to do the outdoors with him in 22? Like it just sort of worked out that you guys both ended up doing it.
Yeah, it was fun. He's just awesome to be around. He's a great guy, and he's funny, you know, keeps the mood light. But yeah, I think it was cool to race with him again for sure. And
did you guys find yourselves on the track together a bit?
Not so much. He crashed in the first race at Fox Raceway.
Yeah.
And I remember he kind of banged up his hip a little bit. And then
And it just followed him around.
Yeah. And then he round two, I think he edged me out. And then round 3, he did really good at Lakewood. He was really good in that elevation and just that track terrain. But I think it would have been a little, if it was on his turf types of dirt, he probably would have, you know. But I think he was just enjoying it. I don't taking it more low key, but doing a couple rounds, having some fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the kind of guy, from everything I've heard from people that have like spoken about him on the podcast, he was one of the guys that could detach.
Yeah.
And just go on the boat, just cruise, and everyone else was training and everyone else was like, you know, thinking they mentally, like they were going to beat him because he's off cruising around doing his own thing. But he seemed like the guy that had the balance.
He did. I will say I had to take a page out of his book, because when we would go over there and race, because we'd be pitted out of the KTM rig, so I'd see him and we'd hang out.
And Motocross the Nations and stuff.
Yeah. And, you know, the guy, he'd get off the track, go over the Red Bull rig, have a latte, and like, and lattes aren't bad, I'm not saying it, but like,
but just the vibe.
Crack a Red Bull during the day, a race. I'm like, and even like just seeing him being able to detach, and like, I was like, I don't know how you do that. Like, I wish I could do that. I don't know how to do that, you know, but he could do that, which is probably why he got, I don't know how many years, 14, 15, I don't know how many years he raced, but I know.
Well, I think he won 9 championships.
Yeah, 9 championships, and however many, he might have been closer to 20 years if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, I wonder what, look up his Wikipedia page. Let's see when Cairoli actually, let's see when he did. Because dude, it's so crazy as a fan of the sport, like I've just been a lifelong fan of just watching every season from, you know, like 2000s to now. You know, it's like 25 years of just like obsessively watching every single championship. And it's like, dude, Cairoli on a Yamaha 250 and 2002 or whatever it was, you know.
Oh, 2004.
04, there you
was
go.
his debut. So
MX2 debut in the 2024 season, 3rd place. Then he won his first title in 2005. But you think about like the errors that he went through, man. Like literally the first 4 strokes, he was on a Yamaha, then I'm pretty sure. And then he goes on the Rinaldi full factory 450 Yamaha, and then he goes to KTM, and now he's a Ducati. Like, just can span such a crazy lot. Like, that's 20 years.
Yeah. Now it's incredible. Yeah, he was. It's hard to get that balance, like you're saying. I don't know. He could do that.
It's just like a personality trait, though. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, he like didn't take it too serious, but he still took it serious and had fun with it and knew when to play. He worked hard, played hard, you know, and he what was it? Red Bull gave me 5 in Spain. We had this Red Bull event we went to, and it was in Madrid. so we're all in Spain, and he takes us out, and we're going, we're practicing the next day, you know, and I'm like, dude, I'm not having a drink, you know, and so he tells the waiter to get the grappa. I'm like, what's grappa, you know, or limoncello, good for the tummy, he says at night, good for the digestion, you know. It's like, so I mean, just like, yeah, it's just he just there was a time and a place for it, and he never abused it, but it was just, he knew how to just enjoy life, and I was like, yeah, maybe I need to be a little more like this.
It's just funny, the different personality types, but like how you can make it work.
Yeah,
you know, like I feel like I'm definitely I wouldn't say like I don't know, overthink is probably not the word to use, you know, but it's like a critical thinker.
Yeah.
But I think about everything.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, I don't know whether it's the same for you, but I think part of my confidence in life comes from my thinking, you know, and if I can think all the way down to the bottom to where there's nothing else to think about.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Like you have your checklist, you've ran through it, you're prepared. Yeah. And that's kind of how my thought process.
But there's a lot of baggage that comes from that.
Yeah.
Because I think you end up thinking about things that might not actually matter.
Right.
You know, and you invest. And I think that there's, like, I think about, nowadays I'm like way more cognizant of it, especially like with like meditation, and like there's like just a different way I try and live my life these days. And it's like I can be doing nothing, but I feel like I've done so much. You know, I'm making a coffee, I'm doing nothing, like literally, and I'm fucking exhausted by the end of it. And then like Anna will say to me, she'll be like, dude, like breathe. And I've just like held my breath for like a minute thinking about, but in my head, I'm like really going through some shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've just fully thought about a content database, or you know what I mean? So it's like that you can really, I think a guy like yourself, like you can get so in the weeds, but there's a real sense of confidence that can come from that.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely. I would say, I think I have the same, whatever you got, that's the same process I got. And, but for sure, I think, I need to think about what I'm thinking about. Sometimes I'm like, all right, let's redirect. And
so have you gone through a process of that, like as you've kind of, especially like racing's done and you know, all that sort of stuff's out of the way now, but have you like tried to get more of a handle on that process, or like use it more as a tool and cut it off when you don't need to? Or
I think after racing, I kind of became a little bit of a dreamer. I mean, I always dream big, but like a little bit too much, I think. And I kind of like, all right, let's stay focused here. Let's like, what are you good at? What are your gifts, your talents, and how can you utilize that and benefit others? Like I really am trying to like more hone in on and focus it instead of just, you know, and, you know, not chase the selfish ambition type stuff, you know, but I don't know. I mean, I definitely dreams, goals, all these things. I just try to rein it in. And, you know, I think now with kids, and I've gotten to a point where I've taken on too much at times, that I've like, all right, now I need to like backtrack and get more focused and efficient. And so, and now with kids, it's just like time just runs thin, you know, and you only have so much time. And so it's just getting more focused and not trying to do everything. I'm kind of in that mentality where I'm like, all right, I want to do something, but I wanted to get it done tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then that's not reality. So make a 10-year plan, start at year 10, work backwards and adjust that, get your goal. Like quit trying to do it all in a day, you know, like that's not healthy. So, but I think that's just being driven and excited and passionate and these things. But
if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.